I want to review today Ausha podcast host. Some people call it Ausha, we call it Ausha. And so I want to do a review of this tool and I want to look at the possibilities, the capabilities, the pros and cons, the pricing, everything. So here's a presentation that I want you to pay attention to. So when you think about Ausha, this is a podcast hosting platform for launching and scaling your show. And it's one of those things where you need to understand you have all kinds of capabilities through Ausha. And Ausha calls itself the easiest way to launch and grow your podcast. Is it really true? Yes. We tested it. This is really true. So if you are a new podcaster, you are even a podcaster with 1 or 2 years under your belt, you might want to try Ausha also in terms of distribution, but also hosting and also promotion and scalability. So think about Ausha as a podcast hosting platform that helps you launch and scale your show. Ausha integrates with your socials to maximize engagement across all channels, especially on Instagram and Facebook. They do a great job in terms of helping you with having a synchronized integration. And Ausha actually starts at about 13 to 15 bucks a month and is best for growth obsessed podcasters. So it's one of those things where you need to understand Ausha is way more than podcast hosting. Okay, they do podcast growing, podcast scalability. It has a sleek and modern interface that is super easy to use and an impressive number of features that help you actually get the most engagement possible out of your content. And so what are the USPs of Ausha? So the unique selling proposition. So you have a social media manager. So you can connect Ausha to your social accounts for updating, posting that aligns with when you share your episodes. So there is no need to do things manually anymore. The integration helps the things done automatically. You have video clips, so you can produce social-friendly video clips that help you build the buzz around your podcast. So this is kind of cool. You have automatic and manual monetization, so you can choose from leaving Ausha to monetize your podcast or taking the reins yourself, whatever suits you. So if you are a new podcaster, let's say you have less than 1 year under your belt, it's just better to outsource everything, quote unquote, outsource everything to Ausha, to just leave it up to them to kind of see the best way to monetize your content for you. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let me give you a winner here. So basically, when we think about Ausha, we think about a tool that's great for growth-obsessed podcasters. And it's really a great platform that really knows what podcasters are looking for. So the integrated social sharing and engagement tools help users get the most out of their content, draw value out of their listeners, and crucially, scale their podcast. So you can start with 20,000 downloads, and then you go to 200,000, and who knows, very soon you go to 2 million downloads. And plus, the choice between automated and manual monetization gives you as a podcaster the freedom to take a more or less involved approach while still making maximum revenue from your content. So when you think about reviewing Ausha to really choose this platform, you want to look at pricing, you want to look at analytics, you want to look at the media player, you want to look at the file hosting, the distribution, the monetization, the usability, and additional features. Let me break it down for you. So when we talk about pricing, first of all, how much does Ausha really cost? Well, I'll talk about pricing later on, but it's one of those things where don't just look at the price. You have to look at the value for money. How much are you deriving from? How much are you extracting from Ausha? In other words, what is your ROI? So that's really good. So you want to really have a comprehensive view also of your revenue and where your revenue is coming from. So besides pricing, you got to look at analytics. And Ausha is pretty granular. It's pretty sophisticated when it comes to analytics, so we love that a lot. In Ausha, you have the ability to deep dive into your podcast performance, okay? And so there are in-depth and granular data and all kinds of reports. This is kind of cool. All kinds of stats also. This is really good. And this podcast analytics in Ausha should be easily accessible, understandable, and give you a comprehensive view of what you're doing well and where you need to improve. And in Ausha, you have a media player. This is really cool in terms of helping you have a better understanding of your podcast audio quality. So an embeddable media player is absolutely essential for making sure you can share your podcast far and wide. So once you actually are hosting it on Ausha, you're able to scale, okay? And that's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. Also, file hosting is really cool. So Ausha really hosts Ausha is really good in terms of supporting lossy file formats. That's why you really want to make sure that you check that aspect also in terms of the long-term usability of the platform. In terms of distribution, Ausha does a great job in terms of distributing your podcast. So you basically should take care of submitting and distributing your podcast. They'll be doing it for you, so you don't even have to think about it. So this is kind of cool in terms of scaling everything, especially if you are a new podcaster. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Ausha podcast host. Is this really worth it? In terms of pricing, I want you to look on the screen right now. Here is the pricing for Ausha podcast host as of the date of this show. So you have the launch, the boost, and the supersonic. Now the supersonic is pretty, it could be pretty interesting, but based on our research, the most popular sort of plan here is the boost. And let me really dig a little deeper here. So when we talk about the launch will cost you $13 per month. With that, you have unlimited storage, episodes, and downloads. You have automatic distribution, social media manager on Twitter, now called X, and Facebook. You have promotion tools. You have basic stats. You have audience insights. This is really good. And also, the cool thing about the launch plan is that you have access to an ad agency for automatic monetization. You have 4 video clips with transcription every month. You have 2 archived shows, 1 user. This is really good. So that's for the launch plan. This will set you back $13 per month when billed annually. Okay, this is the annual billing. And if you want to go with the monthly billing, you'll pay $15. And then you have the boost plan. The boost plan will set you back $29 per month. And you have everything in the launch plan, as well as automatic distribution to YouTube and SoundCloud, social media manager on X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You have advanced stats. You have manual monetization. You have 12 video clips with transcription every month, and 3 archived shows and 5 users. So this is kind of cool. And so $29 if you go with annual billing. $29 if you go with monthly billing. You're paying $35. And then the third one is actually the supersonic. This is actually if you already have an established following and you're trying to really scale your podcast to another level. And so the supersonic plan has everything in the boost plan, plus private password protected playlist. You have demographic stats. You have the ability to add CTAs. So that's call to actions to your communications with listeners. You have the ability to connect your apps together using Ausha API. So this is kind of cool. If you have a team of developers to kind of help you out, this will be fantastic. You have 24 videos with transcription every month, 5 archived shows, and 8 users. So if you have a team and a team really handles everything for you, you will love that. So when we talk about $69 per month, that's if you accept the annual billing. If not, they'll charge you $83 per month. Let me talk to you about the review of Ausha here. So let's look at the pros and cons of this platform. First, the advantages. So you have easy distribution. So Ausha makes it easy to distribute your content to all the major listening platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but also Google. You have a sleek and easy to use platform. So Ausha is a really sleek and well-designed platform for any podcaster. Really, you also have a podcast website. So all Ausha users are able to create a custom podcast website. This is where your listeners can log on, if you will, to listen to your content via the Ausha embeddable media player. You have collaborative working. So with a boost plan, you can add up to 4 other users to collaborate with you on your show. This is great for podcasts that are created with a production team. You have unlimited storage, downloads, and episodes. So the sky's really the limit when it comes to Ausha, regardless of which subscription you are on. You can enjoy limitless uploads and storage so that you can focus on growing your podcast. You also have engagement tools. So Ausha's range of features focuses a lot on growing engagement and scaling your podcast for you. And so creators, if you are a creator right now, you are looking to grow your audience, you will enjoy the integrated social sharing features, as well as the automated tools that let you communicate directly with your audience and encourage them to listen to you now, but also in the long run. And also, what we love about Ausha is that you have an embeddable audio player. This is really good. You have a podcast analytics. You get in-depth stats on how your podcast is performing where your audience is listening from, and more. Okay, monetization is fantastic also. So depending upon your subscription plan, you'll get access to automatic or manual podcast monetization. Either way, this is a great way to start making your show work harder for you. And also, here is a tool that supports lossless file formats. So Ausha not only supports MP3, but WAV, OGG, and FLAC. So this will be music to the ears of any podcasters who are a stickler for audio quality. And so note, however, though, that files cannot exceed 300 megabytes in size. What about the disadvantages of Ausha? Ausha has a lot of pros, but they have a few cons. They have two that we really wanted to highlight. There's no ability to live stream or create content, and you also cannot manage subscribers. So basically, Ausha is definitely a great and robust podcast host and management tool. That being said, for any podcasters looking for an all-in-one solution, the absence of a creation or live streaming suite may be a letdown. You can't manage your subscribers, though Ausha actually does offer podcast advertising. Creators looking to launch a subscription model may be frustrated by their inability to do so directly through the platform. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Ausha podcast host. I want to talk to you about the features here. So when you think about Ausha, what are the key features you want to pay attention to as you actually explore the platform as a podcaster? You have automatic newsletters, so you can notify your subscribed listeners when you publish a new episode. You can actually personalize the notification newsletter, so this is really good. You also have a podcast website. I've already said that. The cool thing is when you have a podcast, if you're a podcaster, you really want to establish your brand. And having a website really is a great way to start actually laying a strong foundation for your podcast. Okay, so Ausha's podcast website is really a great way to let listeners interact directly with your content online. It's also an effective way of boosting your discoverability, since Ausha sites are well referenced by Google because of SEO best practices. So beyond actually showcasing your podcast, which is really important information and a full episode list, you also can link out to all other Ausha hosted shows, encourage listeners to follow you on socials, or head to your personal website. And there's not too much scope for personalizing your Ausha podcast sites. You can toggle the main color, change out some images, and edit your site URL if they automatically generated one it's not to your liking. Another feature that we love is that you can organize your content for more engagement. So Ausha keys into effective strategies that improve engagement with your content. It's really good. So what happens here is that you can structure your episodes with, let's say, chapters. You can organize your shows into your desired order. You can actually encourage your listeners to interact with your content by creating private playlists. So when you add chapters to your episodes, you can also make specific links or visuals appear in certain sections alongside your audio. So this is really great in terms of viewing experience, and so that's fine. You also have automatic social sharing. This is cool. So you can automatically promote your shows on socials by scheduling your post. And what happens here is that Ausha will automatically post on your behalf when you publish a new episode. You can also analyze how your posts are performing directly from Ausha too. You also have social video clips. So Ausha actually lets you turn your podcast audio into shareable video clips and help you generate momentum around your latest episode. So depending on your Ausha subscription plan, you'll have a different limit on monthly videos that you can create. And the cool thing is you are able to choose which audio clip from your recording you want to turn into a video, customize its appearance, whether you want to have a waveform, titles displayed, or an image of your choice. You can also toggle its formatting, choosing between square, landscape, or story dimensions. Subtitles will be automatically generated. So this is really cool. You also have a smart link. So a smart link is a unique listening link that lets your audience click through directly to their favorite platform for listening to your content. This is a great tool to direct traffic to your latest uploads. Let's have a first look at Ausha. So when you have created your show or imported it, you will land on your Ausha dashboard, which looks like very, very sleek. And from there, you can navigate to the various different tabs, including episodes, communication, statistics, monetization, and settings. The cool thing about Ausha is the dashboard is pretty user-friendly, and you don't need to be an experienced podcaster to find your way around. Okay, So how do you actually get started with Ausha? Well, how do you actually add a show on Ausha? When you first make your account, your welcome screen will give you the option to add your show or import an existing one. So you just click on create your show manually and just follow the instructions. This is pretty straightforward, nothing complicated. You can also add an episode on Ausha. So on your dashboard, click episodes on the top bar, then click the pink button that says add an episode. Very simple also. And you can also migrate your podcast to Ausha. So to migrate your podcast from your previous podcast host to Ausha, you'll need to go through two stages, importing and redirecting. So when you first create your account, click on RSS import and copy and paste your existing RSS feed and click continue. And so what happens here is that this will begin your import, and soon enough, all your published episodes will appear in Ausha. And to redirect your RSS feed, you'll need to follow instructions of your previous host. This is really cool. And Ausha has specific instructions for most mainstream podcast hosts. And you can also distribute your podcast using Ausha. So the possibilities are there also. There are 3 distribution processes in Ausha that differ depending on the listening platform in question. So you have distribution in a few clicks. Here you have Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, and more. For manual distribution, you have Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Player FM, iHeartRadio, and more. You'll need to manually follow the submission process for each of those platforms though. And although Ausha has created specific tutorials to help you out. And then the third category is that you have automatic distribution to Google Podcast, Castbox, you have Pocket Cast, Castro, or Overcast. You don't need to do anything. As soon as you upload a podcast to Ausha, it will appear on those platforms automatically. You can also monetize your podcast using Ausha. This is pretty good. And Ausha has 2 kinds of monetization. So you have automatic and manual, and which are available depending on your subscription tier. So automatic monetization is where you lean back and let Ausha take care of monetizing your content for you. So their ad agency will contact suitable advertisers, negotiate your rate, and start programmatically inserting ads into your content. And it's not totally out of your control though. You have the power to dictate who your target audience is, as well as exclude any industries or sectors that you don't want to advertise in your content. Note that you have to hit 5,000 monthly listens to qualify for automatic monetization, and Ausha will take a 40% cut of your ad revenue. For manual monetization, this is for podcasters who like to be in control, and as the name suggests, you will have to manually search for and identify advertisers that you want to work with. You can then use Ausha Monetization Suite to actually design and launch ad campaigns and run analytics on its performance. So this is kind of cool. Before I talk to you about the Ausha's rivals, I want to also say that you have Ausha's podcast analytics, so you can track your podcast growth and progression, compare actually your episodes, and gain deep insights into your audience. And your Ausha dashboard, you want to head to statistics. So you will find breakdowns of your podcast overall listens in the past 24 hours, week, and month. You have unique listens. If you are a Boost or higher level subscriber, you have episode performance comparison and overall ranking. You have listener devices, platforms, OS, and browser, operating system, that is. You have audience locations. You have audience gender and age. You have peak listening times and the overall audience count. So what about the rivals here? You have podcast.co. You have captivate.fm. You have Acast also. So let's talk about that. So when we talk about the first difference to note between these 2 platforms is the price. So when you think about Ausha versus podcast.co, whereas Ausha starts at $13 per month, the cheapest Podcast Co plan is $19 per month. However, this probably stems from the fact that Ausha and Podcast Co target different sized audiences. Ausha is better suited to independent and scaling podcasters, whereas Podcast Co is a platform that's tailored to enterprise and business accounts, although they do cater to small creators too. So if you are an independent podcaster, Ausha will most definitely give you the better bang for your buck. What about Captivate.fm? Well, both Ausha and Captivate.fm are growth-focused podcast hosting platform, and their platforms and Captivate FM leans in more to the marketing and management side, and its powerful tools are a great support in your podcast journey. So just like Ausha, Captivate FM also offers unlimited podcasts, though they do have a monthly download limit. Perhaps the biggest factor when choosing between those 2 platforms is that you cannot really monetize directly with Captivate FM, while Ausha offers a choice between automated and manual monetization. What about Acast? Well, Ausha and Acast are fairly evenly pitched. Both podcast hosting platforms exist to really help you launch, manage, and ultimately scale your podcast. And all of Acast plans include unlimited hosting and uploads, just like Ausha's. And their first year paid subscription is essentially the same price, $13 versus $14.99. So how do you choose between them? Well, for podcasters looking to grow, a big factor is the ability to monetize. So while Ausha gives you, like its users, the ability to automatically and manually monetize using ads, Acast goes further by offering ads, sponsorships, branded content, memberships, and subscriptions. So if you're looking to start making money out of your podcast, Acast is the obvious choice here. So what is our opinion here? What do we think? Is Ausha really worth it? Yes, Ausha is definitely worth it. And there is no doubt that Ausha is a solid choice of podcast host, offering far more than simply hosting your files. Ausha has a strong focus on growth tools and scaling your show's visibility will help your show scale as easily as it should be. Though there is no current ability to manage podcast subscribers in the app, the choice between manual and automatic monetization is unique and really gives podcasters like you the freedom to choose which system suits them best. Additionally, the sleek and modern interface makes the platform a pleasure to use, and really, this is really great. And finally, the 3 subscription tiers mean that Ausha is able to satisfy a broad range of podcasters, whether they are just starting out or are looking to grow their podcast even more. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Let's quickly recap to this conversation here. So this was an Ausha podcast host review, and I give you the presentation, the winner, pricing, the review, the features, the rivals, and finally our opinion as to whether or not Ausha is a great podcast host. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay